Hello and welcome to another edition of Breaking It Down with Barber. This is how we do it. Today we're going to be looking at two different brands of ratchet belts for men. The first one is the Trackline by Core Essentials, and the other one is the Slidebelt. So for those of you who are not really familiar with what a ratchet belt is, there are no holes on the one side. It's just completely flat. And there's a ratchet system on the back, and so that allows you to adjust your belt every 1/8 of an inch instead of every inch. A typical belt is about every inch. So with the Core Essentials, the belt buckle that I chose, and they have different ones that you can choose. This is a gunmetal finish with a hole in the center, so when you put it, when you fix your belt, it looks like it's a traditional belt with a hole in it, even though it's really not. The Slidebelt is just a solid belt buckle, but virtually works the same. The weight of the two, I would say that the Slidebelt is a little bit heavier of a weight than the Core Essentials, but not that noticeable, but you certainly can feel a little bit heavier weight. How these belts work is if I take my belt, and you can see on the back where there's numbers, and so this belt comes at about 44 inches, I believe, and you cut it to the exact length that you want it, and then you put it into the hole here and you push down, and that secures the belt. And that belt is really secure. That belt's not going to go anywhere. In order to adjust the belt, you put it through the hole, slide it here, and you'll be able to hear it ratchet. And so that ratchets, and you can make it as tight or as loose as you want it. To release the belt, all you do is pull up on it, pull up, and then it pulls out. Okay. So with the Core Essential, it's a little bit easier when the belt is in there. They just have a button on the back. You just push that button and it slides right out. I felt like the Core Essential was a little bit easier to release than the Slidebelt was. So I purchased the full grain leather belts for the Core Essential and for the Slidebelt. The full grain leather, it's really two pieces of leather, because in order to get this groove in there, you've got to really glue two pieces of leather together. On the Core Essential, I liked it because it was a little bit wider. It was about 1/8 of an inch wider, and it did not have any stitching along the edge. The Slidebelt was just a little bit narrower, and it does have a little stitching on there. I felt like the one from Core Essentials was able to give you both a casual and a dressy look if you needed to put a tie on. The Slidebelt, I feel, is a little dressier, but I do wear it with some casual pants as well. So I first purchased the Core Essential belt, and I loved it. I had it for like 10, 11 months. And then all of a sudden, what happened with my belt, and I'll show you here, this is another belt that I bought, it started to come unglued. And so you can see how the two pieces kind of unglued. You can kind of see this in there where they put the track in there, but it just started to split apart. So I did call them, talk to them about it. They said that's unusual for that to happen, and that it would either refund me my money or they would replace it for me. I chose the refund because I thought, well, I'm going to try a different brand then. I had purchased two of them, one in black and then one in brown, and this is what happened to the brown one. So the brown one kind of tore across the top, and it was splitting apart. So I really wasn't very happy with the quality of the Core Essential, and so that's really why I chose the refund. I did go to the Slidebelt. The Slidebelt I've had it for nearly 6 months now, and I've had no issue with any splitting, cracking. I don't know if it's because it has kind of the stitching on the end to kind of keep the belt together, where the Core Essential maybe had just glue between it. But if you're in the market for a belt, I highly recommend the ratchet system belt with the click every 1/8 of an inch. It makes it really nice to be able to make it as loose or as tight as you really need it. So I paid $49 for the Core Essential belt. That was with the buckle. And the Slidebelt, though, was more expensive for sure. It was twice the price. It was $98. But if it lasts long enough, I'm hoping that I won't have to buy another one for quite a while. So those are my review of the Slidebelt and the Core Essentials, and hope it helps. Thanks.